Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do something a little different today than I've ever done before, and I'm going to be covering in this video a common writing concept called show, don't tell, or show versus tell. So when I first started writing back in 2018, I was scooping up every book that I could find on craft, and I was reading article after article after article, and I was searching the hashtag writing community on Twitter, and I was searching for writing resources on Pinterest, and just about anywhere that I could find how-tos on how to be an author and how to build a book from literally scratch. And I kept coming across this concept, show, don't tell, show, don't tell. It kept smacking me across the face, show, don't tell. And I remember being so confused. I remember thinking to myself, what do you mean don't tell? I'm literally like telling a story. How do you tell and not tell? It makes no sense. And it didn't for the longest time until I finally found somebody that could explain the concept to me in a way that I could understand it. And so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to tell you how I came to understand show, don't tell. It's probably going to be unlike anything that you've ever heard before or may ever hear again when it comes to this subject, but we all know that I march to the beat of my own drum and I do things my own way. So let's get into it. Show, don't tell. So when I am reading a book, I want to experience this book with the characters. I always know that I'm going to love a book or a story, what have you, when I can see it happen in my mind's eye, when I'm either living it with the characters or I can place myself in the shoes of one of the characters. The way that we do this, the way that we connect our readers to our characters, is through show, don't tell. In real life, my best friend, I've been friends with her for almost 16 years at this point. I know her tells. So like when she's getting angry, her cheeks right here get real red. And she gets this look on her face. There is one instance back in high school where we were doing something in our anatomy and phys class together, and we needed to ask the teacher for something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but on our way up to the teacher, my foot got tangled in somebody's sweater that they left on the floor, and I tripped. And when I tripped, my automatic response was to reach out and try to catch myself on something. While I reached out and tried to catch myself on her, and I almost took her down with me. And she turned around and she told me, "It's a sweater." And I can just see the exasperation on her face. Okay, that's how close I want to be to your characters. This is what the kind of intimate relationship that I want with the characters in the books that I read and in the books that I write. How we do that is we examine our characters. Character profiles are so important. I actually have a book that I have nothing but character profiles in. I call it my character Bible. It has everything from their physical traits, like what color eyes they have, what color hair they have, any defining features, but I also put personality traits in there and things that they do in certain situations. So I'm going to use myself as an example. If I was a character in somebody's book, if I'm nervous, I chomp on my lip ring. I have a lip ring that I've had since I was 19, I think. I chomp on that lip ring and I yank it and I pull it like this until it almost disappears into my lip, and it's quite painful, and I don't know why I do it because it hurts a lot, but I do it. It's a habit that I have. If somebody were writing me as a character and they wanted to convey that I was nervous without ever using the word nervous, that's what they would write, that I was chomping on my lip ring and yanking it into my mouth. That is show, don't tell. You are telling people how the character is feeling without ever using the actual word. Let's say we're going to take anger. Anger is a common emotion in writing. So how do I write that my character is angry without ever using the word angry? Examine yourself. What kind of physical reactions do you have to anger? When I'm mad, when I'm like really like DEFCON 1, about to lose my mind on somebody, my eyes bug out. And I have a habit of doing this because there's just so much frustrated energy, and I'm either gonna punch somebody or I'm gonna beat the air. I do that when I'm angry. What does your character do when they're angry? What do you do when you're angry? An author that I am so fond of reading her work, Carrie Cole, she once said that she puts a little bit of herself in every character that she writes. And as now that I'm making the journey of being an author as well, it's so true. A little bit of me goes into every character because I examine what kind of things I do in every varying situation, and I insert these things into my characters. And what that does is it turns this character from being this stiff being that I really don't have any kind of emotional attachment to, into a living, breathing human being that I feel very attached to. My favorite books in the world got me like this. They got me because, okay, the story's okay, but I love the characters. I fell in love with the characters. So this is the first instance of show, don't tell, and it's action in your characters' physical expressions, their facial expressions. It is explaining emotion without ever naming what emotion you are trying to portray. That is the best way that I can explain that. Now, there's one other instance of show, don't tell, and this one I struggle with a little bit. I've noticed in my second draft of my book that I tell in this situation more than any other situation. My poor crit partner, I swear, she's probably getting tired of writing the word, this is telling, because I've noticed it so much going through these edits. When you are explaining not how a character is feeling, but something that is going on in the world around them, you can tell instead of show. And when you do it in this situation, what you're doing is you're really distancing the reader from the story, and you're not letting them really experience the sensations with the character. So an example of this, I'm going to use an example from my own writing. The original sentence was, the wind picks up, carrying a fine mist from the falls with it. It's all right. I still don't hate it, but there's no sensation to it. It doesn't really draw the reader in and let them experience this moment with my character. This is from the prologue, and it's my character Gideon that's in this moment. The reader is not experiencing with Gideon. I'm telling them what Gideon is experiencing. That's the difference. So I went back at my crit partner's suggestion, and I rewrote that sentence. So this is the new sentence. A shiver skates down my spine as the wind picks up, carrying a fine mist from the falls with it. Even if you have never been to a waterfall, you have at some point in your life probably been caught in a rainstorm. It happens all the time. We have all felt that sensation of the water just blowing over you with the wind, and even a warm rain can feel cold with that wind blowing. We've all experienced that, and we've all experienced that full body shiver that comes with that cool water hitting our heated skin. And because we've all experienced that, and I put that sensation into the sentence, Now I've taken it from I'm telling you what Gideon's experiencing to you're going to experience this with Gideon because it's something that you're familiar with. And that is all there is to show, don't tell. It's creating a human connection and then providing sensation so that the reader is experiencing the story with the characters. These characters should be your reader's best friends. They should know these characters intimately, just like we know our characters intimately. If we are doing our job correctly, our readers will have that connection. And if we're not doing our job correctly, then there won't really be a connection. It may be a well-written story, but it's not really a story that I am living with these characters. I've noticed also going through my edits that my first draft is super tell heavy. And that's not uncommon. But as I'm going through the edits, I've started catching myself and I'll be like, okay, I already know that she's going to tell me that this is telling. I don't even need to read her comment. I was telling. And that is a sign of growth as an author. I am starting to realize, okay, this is when I do this. This is where I need to focus on growing and learning. I cannot stress to you the importance of having a good critique group. My critique partners, each of them works a little bit differently. The critique partner that I'm working with right now, she does, and it's my favorite thing that she does, is that even though she's tearing apart my book, which is great, I want her to because I want it to be the best that it can be, but she'll absolutely tear a section apart. But then when she finds something that I've done well, she highlights it and she leaves a comment for me. Like there was a section where Casey, my main female character, is talking to her dad, and it's a flashback. Her dad has since passed away. And in this flashback, there was a section of dialogue where her dad is talking to her, and my crit partner highlighted it and put, "This is beautiful." And that one moment of, okay, I did this right, keeps me going through those hard critiques where I'm like, oh dang, I did that wrong, I've got to redo it, and now I've got to rework this because this is attached to this. And it can be so frustrating. And that's where a good critique partner will step in and they will say, okay, maybe you did this wrong, but you did this right. And they give you that strength to kind of just push yourself through. So if you don't have a critique partner, go on Facebook. There are so many writers groups. Just post and say, hey, is anybody looking for a critique partner or a critique group? We can form one. It's such a crucial step to growing as an author and to learning how to implement all these different things into your writing. It's really the best advice that I could give anybody. Find yourself a good critique group. So that is the longest video I think that I've ever shot. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between show versus tell. I hope that it was helpful for me to break it down into the way that I started to understand it, and I hope that you are now able to implement it into your writing, and I hope that you learn and you grow, and I cannot wait to read all of the things that you write with it. Okay. Everybody have a fantastic night, and thank you so much for watching. Click like and subscribe if you want to see more. I don't post super often on here, but I am going to try to start posting more. And if you have any suggestions of videos that you would like me to cover or topics that you would like me to cover, go ahead and comment those below as well. All right, guys. Bye.